Hello everyone, and welcome to the unboxing and review of The Moon Oracle by Caroline Smith and John Astrup. Let the phases of the moon guide your life. What a beautiful box. I mean, I love this pink and I also love this purple bluish color on the front. I think it's really beautiful. Here we have the phases of the moon. Here we have some depictions of the cards. Answer your life questions using the rhythms of the moon. This original, easy-to-use divination system and practical introduction to lunar astrology allows you to align your life to the fluctuation rhythms of the moon and make in-depth, multi-layered readings using a combination of lunar cards. It's got 72 cards and a 128-page guidebook. It's actually a proper guidebook. We'll get to that in a second. Just want to show you guys what the box looks like, and it slides out like this, almost like a little drawer, which is actually kind of cute. I like when some decks do that. So here we have the guidebook. What I do wish it's got the ribbon here on the side, which I really appreciate. I do wish there was a ribbon inside of it so I can pull and like the book will lift and then the deck will lift as well. As you can see, here are the backs. Really beautiful backs. They're not shiny really, they're more of a matte finish. Well, there's a little bit of a gloss, but it's not super glossy. It's just my window is right there. So we're getting definitely that beautiful sunlight coming in. So let me actually get the cards out of the way. Let me get all the cards out of the way. Oh, here we have a shy one that doesn't want to come out. Okay, there we go. All right, got all the cards. Let's put them aside and let's take a look at the book. The book's actually a really good one. Here we have, of course, the cover. Oops, I just skipped through the table of contents. So you have introduction, a quick key to the moon phase cards, and a quick key to the mansions. We're gonna get to that in a second, but there's the moon phase cards. So this deck is divided by 3 different portions. There's the moon phases, there are the moon goddesses, and there are the moon mansions. You have how to make a reading in the moon tables, which we'll get to that. So let's take a look. Here you have your introduction, the phases of the moon, talking about the influence of the moon as well. The different phases over here and what they mean, kind of like in keyword at a quick glance. The symbolism of the moon phases, I really like that. And here we have even more, like going to a bit more depth into the 8 phases, into the 8 moon phase personality types. So I really like that. So I'm somebody who, to be very honest with you guys, I love the moon. You know, I think as every tarot reader or card reader and like witch and light worker loves the moon, the energy of the moon, and we definitely feel it when it comes to new moon and full moons. But I'm somebody who's not super familiar with the phases and the differences and what they mean. So this will actually be a great lesson for me, and maybe for you out there as well that also doesn't know the full extent. So of course we have more. We have the elements, which is really cool. The elements do play a part in the cards, and I love working with the elements. So this to me was not the selling point exactly, but it didn't hurt. And combining the elements with the moon phases, I love this too. So you have questions related to fire, questions related to earth, related to air, and related to water. So how to ask certain questions and the different aspects of each element. Here you have a quick key of the moon phases and what they mean. The mansions of the moon. So let's just read it real quickly. Moon mansions feature in the astrology of many parts of the world. And it is our opinion that they developed from the earliest astrology, which was moon rather than sun-based. There is evidence that the astrology of Babylon and Egypt was moon-oriented. I believe also the Jewish calendar, right, is a lunar calendar. I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying that. So seems to me that the mansions maybe have to do with the houses, right? Because we have here the lunar mansions. Maybe it has to do with the houses or something. So that's really, really interesting. Oh no, I'm sorry. So you actually have 28 mansion cards. So it doesn't have to do with houses because the houses are only 12. So I'm wrong. And then you've got the goddesses, which is really cool too. I love working with different goddesses. And here they separate them into white goddesses, red, and black goddesses. Let's take a look at this chart just a little bit closer. So you have each goddess is associated with a zodiac sign. That's actually really cool. And it has to like I guess I'm actually trying to figure out what are the white, red, and black goddesses. Does it say? Oh, okay, here. So the young initiating white goddesses move through the spring from Pisces through Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. The mature sustaining red goddesses move through the summer months from Cancer through Leo, Virgo, and Libra. The destructive black goddesses commence at Scorpio, and which if you associate it with the tarot, it's a death card. So that makes a lot of sense. So the black goddesses commence at Scorpio and move through the signs Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. Okay, so that's really interesting. That answered my question of why they separate these. Then we go into the card meanings. So we go into the moon phases. The cards are numbered, which I so appreciate that, because sometimes I do have other decks like I think the Angels and Ancestors deck by Kyle Gray, and also the Work Your Light Oracle by Danielle Noel. Those are not numbered, and if you look at, and they have categories. Like we saw this one, the moon phases, the moon goddesses, and the moon mansions. But those decks, they are not in alphabetical order in the book, and there is no number. There's no indication of, and also even in the Work Your Light Oracle, there's a little if you're not familiar with it, there's a little triangle on it. But the thing is, the triangle is the same throughout all the cards. So when you look at a card, you don't know which category it belongs to. So it takes you, or it takes me anyway, maybe you guys out there are much more familiar with that deck, and I love that deck. I have it, and I really work with it a lot. But it does take me a minute to find it in the book. In this one, they are all numbered, which is awesome. So yeah, we've got the moon phases going into, so you have a black and white depiction of the card, and then you have about a few paragraphs of what it means. And also it tells you like where the moon is. So like moon in Leo, moon in Sagittarius, moon in Aries, because here we're dealing with fire. So we're gonna look at the deck, and you guys are gonna see that it's separated by elements. So here we have all the moon phases. So far we're in the fire element. Then there's earth, there's air, there's water, and then we go into the moon goddesses. And now the moon goddesses, you get a little bit more. You get pretty much a full page depiction of the card. Then you have the myth and the card meaning. You get a full page for each goddess. And then going towards the end here, we get into the moon mansions, which I believe it says here from 0 to 12.51. I think these are degrees. And it says here, ruled by Mars and the sun. So, yeah, so we get volcano, then we have like these different mansions. Mansion number 12, 13, blah, 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 all the way to, I believe, number 28. Then we get how to make a reading. We have some spreads going on. Well, this is the moon table for 2016. Oh, here's one for 2020. Let's see how far it goes. 2022, which is the year I'm recording this video and the year I got this deck. But I'm assuming it came out in 2016 from... Oh, that's really cool. It goes all the way to... Whoa. It goes all the way to 2032. That's awesome. So they really thought about how long we're going to work with this deck. That's incredible. I love that. All right, so that's the book. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope I answered all your questions. And here is the deck. I am going to show you guys all of them, and they are in order, okay? I've showed you the backs already. The cardstock is pretty flexible. It's not terrible, and also like this is a deck that I'm really not gonna riffle shuffle because I don't see any reversals in the book. So for me, I do read reversals when it comes to tarot, But when it comes to Oracle, unless the book says, oh, here's a reversed meaning, then I don't do reversals. That's just my style. Of course, you can do your own thing. Okay, so let's get into it. So here we have the crescent. It's the waxing fire moon. Then you have the number, the alchemical element symbol, and then it says shoots. And then here it's the, well, of course, obviously here you have a keyword, and then over here it's the which moon phase we're in. And as you can see, it moves. The moon phase shifts. And now we're at the first quarter, competitiveness. But we are in the element of fire. This red color is all about the fire. So we have shoots, leaves, buds. Now we're getting to the flower, the fruit, the fall of the fruit, and the seed. And then the black moon or the new moon is dormant. Now we go into the earth. Now, if you notice, it says shoots here and shoots here. So what I noticed, and I'm of course going to go through them, is here we have leaves and we have leaves over here. So those phases of, I guess, the seed, right, are the same in each element. But I like that because then you know that it's like, oh, you planted a seed, now it's shooting up, now it's building, now it's growing leaves, now it's growing buds, with ambition, with the keyword ambition here. Now it's becoming a flower in the achievement, then it becomes a fruit and a responsibility. Then you have the fall of the fruit, I guess the fruit ripens. You have the seed, and then you have dormant. Now we're stepping into the element of air, represented by this beautiful yellow color. You have adaptability, promotion. I very much do appreciate the keywords too, you know, because then it helps. Like if you don't have maybe the book with you or something, and if you're anything like me, waning doesn't really mean much. And you're still learning the meanings of the moons and what they represent, the keywords are really helpful. You have the balsamic moon, and then the black moon, which is dormant. Here we're stepping into the water, instinct. Choice. Passion. I really do like the artwork. I don't know if the artwork for some of you that are watching is very intuitive. I don't really pull that much from the art, at least in this deck. I love art, and it's how I read with tarot and other oracle that are very like very image heavy. But this one to me feels more like word and symbol heavy. And the artwork is just there to like pull you in, and you can meditate on it. Of course you can. It's almost like sigils, right? Or mandalas. Now we're stepping into the goddesses. And here you have the zodiac depiction. And here you have, you're going to see all the circles, but this one is one of the white goddesses. Artemis, as you can see, she is our back. We have Venus, another white goddess. Athena. And here we switch to red. So Hera is a red goddess, which I believe we said it was the summer months, right? Goddess Isis, one of my favorite goddesses to work with. Demeter. I do love the artwork of these goddesses. They look really cool. Gaia. And here we're stepping into the black goddesses, the destructive winter months. Kali, another one of my favorites. Hecate. I think Hecate is kind of like a lot of people's favorites. Freya. And here we're getting into the mansions, which is volcano, Aries in Sun or Sun in Aries, and then you have the degrees over here. Number 2, the Musician. You know, there just seems to be a lot in one deck with the mansions and the goddesses and the moon phases, because then you can work with the moon phase depending on your own practice, on your own private practice, but then you add like the keyword into it, right? And then you're pulling a goddess and you're pulling a mansion. Like, it seems to be just very intricate and interesting. I think it'll make for a very layered reading, which is honestly what I look for. Sometimes you do want something just quick and simple. You're like, just give me a quick little affirmation or a message or something. But sometimes when you want to spend a little bit more time with spirit, with the divine, and get certain messages or meditate with it and journal with it, this deck will make it for a really interesting one. But I feel like, at least for a while, I'm going to rely heavily on the book, which it doesn't bother me. I'm okay with that, because this is a system kind of like all on its own, at least for this deck, that I want to read from the book. I want to learn. I want to grow from it and with it, right? I want to hear what the artist and the creator have to say about each of these mansions and each of the goddesses, and of course, each of the moon phases. Here we've got the Precipice, a Duel, a Wedding, Confession. Also, what I really like is the variety of keywords. There seems to be some shadow keywords, like for example, this one. And then, and this one as well, right? This is definitely a shadow keyword. But then some bright keywords, like this one, teacher, right? Sleeper is the last one. But like the fountain or the palace or wedding, right? Such beautiful, positive or seemingly positive keywords. But I like the mixture and the balance of the keywords. That's what I look for in a deck. I look for a deck that's balanced, that's got a bit of shadow and light, because guess what? That's life, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the unboxing and review of the Moon Oracle by Caroline Smith and John Astrup. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you guys next time.